Dyle Timesley is a very important piece in the Dandy's World lore. He was not made to be put in the show, or even known throughout Gardenview. He was only made for two reasons. One, to operate Gardenview's infrastructure, specifically the trains connected to different parts of the center. And two, to control toon movement, ensuring they reach their destinations but never set foot outside Gardenview's walls. That being said, I think Dyle Timesley is another piece in Dandy's World's I-Core operation, but here's the catch. He doesn't even know it yet.
Rise up into light. Whoa. Renew.
Hey everyone, it's me Blue, and if you don't know me, I do Roblox content and other such things. Today, I wanted to do something that I've always been interested in, which is lore, specifically Dandy's World lore. I know that Dandy's World is like the only thing I cover, but it's what gets me the most views, and I need money for food, and yada yada yada, whatever. If you want to support me living, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I genuinely appreciate it, and it makes me happy seeing the number go up. But only do those things, like and subscribe, if the theory interested you or helped you gain a better understanding of the Dandy's World lore. Also, disclaimer, this theory was a culmination of my own thoughts, and I also got some help from the game theory and also other videos. They'll all be linked in the description, so if you ever want to fact check me or check other theories, you can look at the videos in the description and, tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, let's get into the theory. First, we should revisit the history of Gardenview and the chain of events that made the Gardenview today what it is. In its prime, Gardenview wasn't just a museum, it was an educational center, a live studio, and a place where guests could meet the toons in person. The toons weren't just mascots, they were fully sentient, and as we now know, they were created by I-Core, a black liquid that functioned as both their lifeblood and their core structure for their creation. Where have I heard this before? For years, Gardenview thrived, and people loved bringing their kids to the center. The toon handlers, Dyle and Arthur, thought that I-Core was this great substance that could help them create toons. However, soon after the fact, we would learn that I-Core wasn't harmless. Overexposure to it could twist the toon into becoming a violent, corrupted version of itself. The twisted version. In 2002, everything came crashing down when a malfunction incident forced Gardenview to close down. While we don't really know the answer, all signs pointed to Dandy, the star of the show and the one running the I-Core operation today, as the cause of the malfunction incident. I think he, Dandy, had snapped during that day, transformed into his twisted form, and sparked chaos throughout the facility. Years later, Dandy is still tormented by that day and started running the I-Core project, not out of malice, but out of desperation to bring back his friends and revive the show that defined his life. But reviving an entire cast of toons, repairing Gardenview, and keeping everything under control takes more than one character's efforts. That's where Dyle comes in. If Dandy is the heart of the I-Core operation, then I think Dyle is its nervous system, quietly keeping the trains running, the toons contained, and Gardenview functioning behind the scenes. Dyle's role comes into sharp focus once we learn that he is the conductor of Gardenview's trains. This is very obvious as he tells us this himself. And also, this isn't just a cosmetic title, it's central to how Gardenview functions. The trains aren't just for decoration. They are systems that move toons around between different parts of the facility. Whoever runs the trains effectively decides who goes where and when. He's also the main source of food for the toons, as confirmed by this dialogue.
I often actually chat with Sprout, seeing as I supply fresh food here. There is a train that leads outside of Gardenview itself. I ensure supplies end up here.
That last line, the train leads outside of Gardenview. Pay attention to that, because I think that line, along with this next one, answers a lot of questions we've had for a while. In his Twisted bio, it states that Dyle is the only one who's seen the outside. Think about that. The only one who's seen the outside. This one sentence flips the lore on its head. It confirms that there is an outside world in Gardenview. That also means that only Dyle has this knowledge. That means he's more than just a worker toon. He's the gatekeeper, a bouncer of sorts. He's the one who decides what gets through Gardenview's locked door. This creates a chilling picture. To most toons, in my opinion, they think the show is still real. They believe that the episodes they're playing in are real. But Dyle knows that this is a lie. He's seen the truth, and yet he chooses to keep them in the dark. There could be multiple reasons for this. Whether he thinks he's protecting them, or whether he just enjoys the control, we don't know yet. But either way, he's more dangerous than he seems. So you're probably thinking, if Dyle is such an important character in the story, why have we literally never heard of him until the most recent update? I think Dyle isn't just a background worker, he's a background character in every sense of the word. Unlike Dandy, Astro, or even side characters like Scraps, Dyle was never meant to be adored by the kids or featured on posters. His job was always quiet, mechanical, and thankless. He ran the trains, he kept the schedules, he made sure everyone got where they needed to be, and no one gave him a second thought. This is shown by this paper, which is in Dyle's room when you complete all 25 machines on Dyle's floor.
I hate to interrupt this radio channel for childish questions, but I must ask something.
Go ahead. I've got time in between meetings.
And will I take part in the show? Join the others? Hello? Have I lost connection? Have I?
There's no plans of that actually happening, Dyle. Why don't you, me, and Delilah sit down tonight? Chat on it some.
Over time, that kind of invisibility takes a toll. The recent update that introduced gossip mechanics shows that Dyle isn't just blunt, he's irritated, even bitter. Listen to any of his gossips and you'll get the vibe, I promise you. On the other hand, Dandy tries to mask his insecurities behind a bright, performative smile. And Dyle doesn't hide his annoyance. His dialogue comes off as impatient, as if he's been, I don't know, carrying the weight of Garden View's operations for a good 20 years, give or take, with no recognition or gratitude. This neglect may even be what drives his twisted form. This is how I think other toons become twisted. I think twisted transformations are tied to being 1, being overcome by ichor, and 2, with having a strong emotion being present. When you look at twisted forms, you can typically tell their current emotion. Poppy being sad, Toodles being manic, and with Dyle, there's only one emotion that really comes to mind for me, and it's irritated. Years of being the unseen worker, the one nobody thanked or celebrated, could have made him resentful, and that resentment might fuel his willingness to keep the toons trapped. If he can't be free, why should they be? Also, as far as we are aware, there's only one Dyle Timesley, just like how there's only one Dandy or Dandicus Dancifer. This is where my theory gets a little more loose, as there's no evidence to actually prove this next claim. So I will call this section the Inferred section. Everything that is pure speculation will be known, and also there will be a huge yellow dot in the corner somewhere if I remember. Anyways, there's only one Dyle and one Dandy. I think that Dandy found Dyle in his twisted state, irritated that he had not been appreciated or acknowledged at all, and I think Dandy finally showed Dyle the attention that he needed, the attention he deserved. Dandy showed him how to de-transform since Dandy can do it himself, and gave him a new purpose. That's why Dyle is now a shopkeeper directly across from Dandy, and why everything we purchase goes straight to Dandy as well. This is where the theory comes full circle. Dandy may be the face of the iCore project, but he's unstable. His obsession with reviving the show blinds him, and his experiments often fail, producing twisteds instead of toons. For an operation like this to function, he needs order, structure, containment, and help. That's exactly what Dyle provides. Dyle moves the toons around, he keeps them from escaping, and ensures they remain part of Dandy's system whether they realize it or not. Without him, the iCore operation might collapse. With him, it continues. Quietly, efficiently, and invisibly. The chilling part is that Dyle may not even know the full scope of what he's doing. He might think he's just doing his job, but his job is the very thing that keeps Garden View locked in a cycle of creation, corruption, and containment. So what does it mean for future updates? I don't know. One thing is certain, Dyle Timesley is far too important than to just be another shopkeeper. His reveal feels like the first move in a much larger scheme. Whether he becomes an ally, a manipulator, or the next great threat, his knowledge and his authority makes him a huge cornerstone in the Dandy's World future. So what did you guys think about the theory? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you think I'm onto something or not. I think I'm onto something, but that's up to you guys to decide. Sorry this video took so long. It's a new editing style for me, and I also ended up getting some voice actors for this video specifically, and their stuff is in the description. They did really great, so please show them some love. And if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. The next video will probably be something a little more creative, a little more unique, maybe. So yeah, if you are excited for that, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.